does the next brick go next to the current one, the
Uh-huh.
one you just placed, or is there like a window frame that actually like just answering where does the next brick go requires you to understand the entire building basically. And so all of that has been modeled into Atrium, all of the robot kinematics, all the autonomy code that drives the robots around, like all these factors are built in there. But then it's actually also like basically our data loop. So you build a wall, you lay a brick, you want to know if it's good. So there's like a vision system that actually looks at the brick, sees if the quality is good, if the mortar is good, if it literally measures like all the kind of like every pose of the brick. And that feeds back both into like the direct quality of the current, project you're doing, but obviously also into like our machine learning system to
Yes.
improve it for the future, building an actual data mode, right? Like we may, I don't have like stats on this, but like I actually think we're likely to be one of the companies or the company with the most data now on construction sites, just by the sheer amount of we spent there in the last year and a half.
I mean, that's probably valuable in and of itself, right? I mean, people are talking a lot about doing, hyper realistic 3D modeling of job sites. There's companies that just have drones that do that. There's
Yep.
actually a robot company that just does like marking out of like plans on floors. It seems like
Yes,
there's a
yes.
ripe market for construction data. Is that a ancillary business for you guys down the road?
I don't think so. I think it is something that's going to be like really valuable for us, and I think it's going to be like a flywheel also to develop future products and improve our current product, and basically get to a point where it's going to be really hard for other people to catch up. But I don't know if there's like an actual market for it. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, no, we will see, especially as you guys get 40 to 100 robots in the market. I mean, the pace at which you'll be getting more data is going to be absolutely insane, which I presume is going to help the whole stack. Which was harder to make, the actual physical robots that do the bricklaying, or was it harder to make the software that works from the robot all the way up to the human level?
I'll tell you this. Interestingly, I think the hardest thing is the intersection of those two things. So I think that the joke that we run in the office is that if someone is serious about robotics, like whether it's like you're hiring someone, or if they become completely obsessed with the boring, kind of seemingly boring question of calibration, which is where these two things come together. So you
Yes.
build hardware. You can kind of get something working very quickly. You can build software and you can kind of get something working pretty quickly. Then you try to run it, you're like off by like 3 millimeters here, there's like a small angle here, like why is that? And then you kind of like go into this rabbit hole where like again these two things intersect. And that is like I feel like we've kind of like collectively had like, as a company like the most pain or like whatever like in that section. And because it's kind of like cross-functional between these two roles, it's actually really hard to even know who you're gonna put to work to fix that problem.
So I read somewhere on your guys' site that you can do sub-millimeter placement of bricks now. And so I presume that with that level of precision, you guys have been chewing in glass for a long time to
Yes.
get that right. How far were the tolerances to begin with? How fast did they come down to that sub-millimeter level?
I think what we've seen is it's not even about like it's not like we went from 3 to 1 millimeters. Like
Okay.
we've had, there was a point, to give you a sense of like how complicated this turned out to be. So I'll give you two examples. One is we do this thing called 3D reconstruction, right? To map a construction site, similar to what you just described. And we, I think, had you asked me a year ago, I would have said like we already got it to like sub-millimeter precision. It works. Like literally,
Uh-huh.
like we were just like it works. We felt good about it, and then we started going from like small pilots to bigger size, and we were doing like I don't know, like 100 feet kind of like walls. And then as we were doing that, we actually started regressing, and then we got like warping. Like we actually still had like precision, but then suddenly like in the middle, if there was be like a big window frame or some feature like featureless plane, we started to get kind of like weird inaccuracies, or like literally like straight lines would not be straight anymore, to
Oof.
like a millimeter level. We have actually at some point built a wall that was not straight as we were building. It's like what is going on there? And then we discovered it was not the robot, it was actually our 3D model of the world. Solving those things is so hard,
Oh,
actually, even just like
interesting.
finding. And I actually think this is one of those things that is underrated. If you have this problem, like who else does this? Like people who work on augmented reality. But when they have this problem, they can just ignore it. Like you don't care about like a 2 millimeter issue. But if you're building a wall, a straight wall that's supposed to be there for 100 years, you will care. So you need to get it right.
Startups move fast, and in the age of artificial intelligence, they're moving faster than ever. But moving quickly doesn't mean you can fall behind when it comes to security and compliance. Hey, move fast, let's break things. Good advice at times, but not exactly what huge enterprise customers want to hear. So that's why I recommend Vanta to my founders. Let Vanta worry about your SOC 2 and your HIPAA requirements so you can focus on building a world-class product. Vanta Vanta will continue to monitor your company as you scale up, and you'll always be ready for the next big deal. And Vanta's new agentic trust platform is context aware, so you can stop reacting when something goes wrong. You got to be proactive. You got to spot these security and compliance issues before they become a problem. It's a new world, and expectations for your company have changed. You're growing up, so it's time to get secure with Vanta. Twist listeners can get $1,000 off by going to vanta.com/twist. That's VANTA.com/twist for $1,000 off.